My name is Leslie Torres, and I am a computer science student. What I like about computer science is that it helps me develop my creativity, and it also teaches me problem-solving skills. This is Sprite Lab, a place where you can build imaginative and fun apps and other useful programs. This is a sprite. A sprite is something you can interact with, like a character in a game or an object in a scene. With Sprite Lab, you can change different aspects of a sprite, like its costume, location, and color. You can also change how a sprite behaves on the screen. Sprites can also interact with you or each other. You can create a dance party, a virtual pet, or an entire world of creatures that do whatever you tell them to. Now you can spend some time exploring Sprite Lab and see where your imagination leads you.
It's time to dig into some fun features of Sprite Lab. The first thing to do is to set up a sprite. To add a sprite, you can use the Make a New Sprite block. This block lets you give your sprite a costume and a location. If you want to change the It's time to dig into some fun features of Sprite Lab. The first thing to do is to set up a sprite. To add a sprite, you can use the Make a New Sprite block. This block lets you give your sprite a costume and a location. If you want to change the sprite's location, you can click the pin in the location block and then click where you want it to go. You can change the size of your sprites too. To make a sprite smaller, you can use the Set Size block and then type in a number that is less than 100. If you have 2 or more sprites with the same costume, this will change all of them at once. Now let's get the sprite moving by using a behavior. You can start by giving the sprite the spinning right behavior. Once the behavior begins, it will run over and over again forever, or until you tell it to stop. And that's all there is to it. Now it is your turn.
Hi, my name is Erin, and I'm a software engineer here at Code.org. I'm so excited because I got to work on the tutorial that you're about to do. We call it Hello World. Hello World is a famous phrase in computer science. Programming in Sprite Lab. Sprite Lab is a tool you can use to build imaginative and fun projects. You'll see that your screen is split into 3 main parts. On the left is the play space. This is where your sprites will show up. Sprites are objects on the screen that you can interact with, like a character or item in a story or game. This middle area is the toolbox. New blocks of code will become available in this space as you go through the lesson. The space on the right is the workspace. You can drag blocks out of the toolbox and into the workspace to build your program. The instructions for each level will be up here at the top of the screen. If you want a hint, click on the light bulb. To start off, let's make a sprite. This block lets you give your sprite a costume and a location. Costume is the word we use to describe a sprite's appearance. To change the sprite's location, you can click the pin icon in the location block. And then, click where you want it to go. Now, let's have the sprite introduce itself. To make the sprite say something, use this Say block and add it to your program. Make sure that the costume selected in your Say block matches the costume in your sprite. When you press Run, the sprite will say whatever text you tell it to. Now it's time to get started with Sprite Lab and see where your imagination leads you. You're going to use events. An event tells your program to listen for something to happen and then react right away. Blocks like when clicked are called event blocks. The code connected to an event block runs when the appropriate action is detected. For example, if I attach this say block to the when clicked event, my sprite will say something when the user clicks or taps on it. Notice that event blocks don't snap into your main program. Instead, they create little programs of their own. Congratulations! You've just learned the basics of computer science. Now you can use Sprite Lab to create whatever you want. You'll see a button that says Costumes. When you click on it, you can choose new Sprite costumes from a library. You can also draw your own. Once you have a costume you like, go back to your code. Now, select that costume for your sprite. If you look in the toolbox, you'll find some brand new blocks that you haven't seen before. For example, there are lots of behavior blocks that will allow you to get your sprite moving in fun and interesting ways. You can use the When Touches event block to control what happens when two sprites bump into each other.
Look for the Create Effect block. This powerful block can be used to make a whole bunch of sprites that burst, or pop, or rain on command.
Have a look around and try experimenting with these new blocks and features. At the end of the tutorial, click the Share button to share a link to your creation with your friends. You have all the powerful skills you need to start developing apps, games, and other new programs in Sprite Lab. Use your new powers for good. Be kind and respectful, just like you would if you were creating something on paper or talking with a friend. So, what will you create? You could tell a story about yourself, or make one up with your own special characters. Maybe you'll even use your new computer science skills for your next school project. Stretch your imagination and have fun.
Da-da-da!